How's it going, everyone? This is the Irish God. I'm here with my boy, the Doombringer Griffin.
Hello.
We're both back from Nationals, and we are here today to discuss our thoughts on a new premium tier list for August. So stick around and see what we got to say. Alright everyone, we are back, and today we're going to discuss a little bit about what we think about premium tier lists. And of course, ARG Nationals just happened. It was August, roughly around the 10th. We had our invitational go down. I ended up getting top 8. It's cool. Thanks everyone. Thank you very much. And so we decided, having said that we would like to record a kind of preliminary, emphasis on preliminary, tier list for premium.
Yeah, just take that disclaimer and run with it, Keith.
Yeah.
This is not so much a viability tier list, which is the standard version you'll see, which goes into tiers 1, 2, and 3 based on how viable a deck is. This is a little bit more concentrated, specifically around the top of those tiers. Pretty much exactly how likely the deck is to top based, like to take home the whole thing, get prize money, etc. Given the deck's usage stats, I'm having a lot of trouble today, and how well it actually did in tournament.
Yeah.
So this is using pretty much just the culmination of the best players who were able to attend the ARG Invitational in August, and we'd like to give you our thoughts.
Sure.
So let's start off with what we're calling Tier C. In a viability tier list, this might be more like your Tier 2, maybe down to Tier 2.5 or up to maybe even 1.5.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah,
somewhere in there, based on what we've got. But given the usage stats, given how popular some of these decks are, but given that they didn't do particularly well at the super end of the tournament, that's why these decks made what we're calling for this video Tier C.
Yeah.
So Keith, start us off with your.
Well, just one thing I wanted to add, Ryan, just before we
please.
jump into it, is I think the best way to look at Tier C right now is that if you took a Tier C deck, what we are defining as a Tier C deck, to a tournament, you would have probably a lowish chance of topping. Like, you would have, it's not a 0% chance, you're not going in with some
and
absolute,
people do top with these decks, mind you.
Yes, exactly. But it's not the optimal choice, let's say, for bringing to this tournament. So it is, while a good deck might not be the best choice of a deck, that is what we were defining as Tier C.
Yeah, keep in mind here at Team Absolution, we try to strive for the highest levels of competitiveness, and so, the minute differences between this tier and like the top tier, which is like running with this deck and just wreck face, everyone dies. Deck is worth buying into just to go to tournament and crush people.
Yes.
Versus Tier C, if this is your favorite deck, go in with it and see how you do.
Yes.
That's kind of where we're going to start off, and I'll give you a good example. Let's talk about Premium Kagura. Oh my dear boy, what did they do to you? Nothing about Premium Kagura really works the way it's intended. Now two Kagura decks did make top 16.
Yes.
Neither of them survived that round, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope, both of them got blown out.
And we had two versions of the deck. One is the standard, came from a Japanese tournament with some modifications. Destiny plus Dragonic Overlord, new Dragonic Overlord, and one the Rebirth in case of the absolutely non-existent Nubatama matchup. Yeah, is anyone running Nuba anymore? I didn't think so. And let's talk about a viability tier list next. But, yeah, Kagura just doesn't really work all that well together. I mean, it gets the job done. I mean, it has access to a lot of powerful tools, a lot of options. None of the options are perfect, though. The deck isn't a well-oiled machine. It's a tool chest, and tool chests don't win you games except when the handyman is extremely skilled in their own right. You cannot pick up a premium Kagura deck and enter into this tournament and expect great things to happen. You will just get crushed. That is absolutely how it will happen to you. Congratulations to those who made top 16 using Kagura. I was absolutely baffled. The other deck was pretty much just a standard deck with the G-Zone just stapled onto the top and a few key changes, namely adding the good cards like Conroe and Lizard General Conroe. But, I mean, the game plan just basically works like go into Waterfall, stack force markers, try to kill the OTT player. Yeah. That's how it is in standard, just with the G-Zone. That's how some decks work. I mean, why couldn't it work for Kagura was the frame. It did make top 16. Do I think I could have done that? I don't have exact faith in myself that I could have had the exact run to get it there.
Yeah, it would have taken, I think, a lucky couple rounds of Swiss to get there. Like, that would have been the one where you also need the Swiss rounds to work in your favor. So, like, the matchups are just not, like
crushing.
Yeah, it's like, just like 0-2-0, or 0-2, I should say. And then that's that.
It could happen to you. Don't recommend bringing Kagura to any premium tournaments. You can. You might do well. Don't advise it. That's what this is all about. We do not advise bringing Tier C decks, considering what we saw at Nationals.
And then I think, kind of moving on from there, we're going to stay inside the Dragon Empire. Our next Tier C deck we're going to discuss is Tachikaze, specifically the Rex build, which is utilizing Squall Rex. It's an old, I think, Fighters Collection card.
It is quite old.
And the new V-Series Death Rex card. And this is basically just there to get an Excel circle. Use this guy, get an Excel circle, use your Squall Rexes. I can't remember the name of the other Rex that's from the technical booster. The guy showed it to me. And then, of course, Mega Rex. And this deck is just about abusing your bind zone and abusing those Rexes to draw as many cards and keep calling Rexes to that Excel circle and just go ham.
You can get a lot of attacks off of this. It is pretty, like, combo-oriented, though.
Yes.
And there's tends to be problems when your combo isn't exactly the most consistent, and when people have the defensive capabilities to stop you, it's not super. Was it really cool to watch? Yes. Did it make any kind of real impression on the tournament? No.
Yeah, it suffers a lot. It has a lot of the same flaws that standard Tachis have right now, which is just that the deck, if it high rolls you, you just explode and die. Because like this premium Tachi's deck draws like 8 cards and does like 6 attacks to you. And
as a premium deck should.
Yes, exactly. But this is like grade 3 ride and stuff like this. It's absolutely nuts. If you get the God Hand with this deck, you just blow them out of the game and there's no questions asked.
But it takes around 10 or so or more God Hands to get to that top 16. If you don't get it and you just get crushed even 4 or 5 times, and let's say you go 50-50, 50-50 is not good enough to make top 16. It's just not. Without that raw consistency that the other decks higher in the tier list have, you're not gonna make it. It's not gonna happen.
There was also the problem, right? I want to mention this for the video, is that both of the 2 Rex players at the tournament matched into each other round 1.
We do have to. That's like every Neonectar player I've ever run into. It's like, what would you play against? Round 1, Neonectar. It's like, I wonder why I didn't see you at the top. Oh, because 2 of us brought the deck. It was really spicy and we both died into each other. Yeah,
so that is quite unfortunate. And then I think the last Tier C deck, and I think the most controversial pick in Tier C, is Royal Paladin. Because we saw a ton of Royal Paladin.
So much Royals on that meta call thinking, I've got to be faster than OTT. I'm going in with this Royals deck. And it could be that the usage versus, what made top 16 and then into top 8 was just so skewed. I mean, when you have 4 out of top 16 be Royals, but all of this Royals players, maybe, there might have been, 15 or 20 of them? We don't have the full deck, the full clan breakdown, but there were so many Royals players. I was one of them. I thought, you know what, I'm going to kill some OT2 players. I'm playing Royals today. And then I did very middlingly. I went 3-3-1.
Yeah, I think that was about as middle as you can get, actually.
Yeah, so it's quite middle. I was like number 41 out of the remaining players. It was not an awesome time.
Yeah.
And had I played a slightly better deck build, that was most of the issue, as we kind of theory crafted the deck, threw it together, realized there were some pretty glaring flaws about this, and we're not playing the best tech choices, and this could have been better. But even the good Royals players were struggling a lot against the decks that are above this one.
Yeah, I think the Royals decks that we saw that did the best really went all in on the combo.
There was so much tech going on. They were playing Blaster Javelin the Ruse. They were playing Pack Gull, which is a card I did not know existed.
Yeah, same here.
Like they were just funneling themselves resources wherever they could and just playing all out for the Flogel Blaster Blades. Lots of force markers. Go in with one of your strides and just go.
Yeah, that was exactly it. I saw so many Gancelots just go Gancelot, stack force markers on the Blaster Blade, get your Flogels there. Pray to God crits are on the top of your deck.
That's pretty much what you're doing. You're putting together like this super wombo combo and praying that you can just get lucky enough on either your Gancelot or your Holy Saver, your Myriad Soul Saver, which a lot of people did run. Actually, I was one of them. And attempt to put it on your Blaster Blade and go in. And if you got it, congratulations, you just won a game of Vanguard. If you did not, or you couldn't search out any piece of your combo, as I struggled to, without a lot of the good tech choices, you might not win that one.
Yeah.
Especially when the control players come for you. We're not favored in that matchup, by the way. This may have been a meta call, but it's not the best one you can make.
Yeah, it's kind of we all thought it was going to do better than it did. It really underperformed, I think, in my opinion, at this tournament. And we're going to see that there's a couple of the decks that we have rated higher that just, the beatdown was better, what they were providing. And then the other top decks were just, the control was too much for Royals to really, like, power through a lot of the times. So I think kind of...
Honorable mention, I would put Royals at the top of Tier C. I think that's probably the best choice you can make within this one. You still have a great chance of doing reasonably well. It's just not a surefire thing. It's not.
Definitely not.
The deck could be better.
Yeah.
And it's just not. And if it were any better, it'd be busted.
Yeah.
If it were that easy, just be like, Blaster Blade, Floggle every time. You can do a lot of that, but you can't do it consistently all the time, and even then, it just sometimes doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of sad when your like super awesome combo just doesn't work.
Yeah. I think as well, one last thing to mention about Royals, just before we move on, is Barco. Because I think Barco was like the huge spice that was here.
The misconception about Barco was like, I don't know if I want to run this.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of people not running it. Glimey is, gives you a card, and sometimes that's what you need. Pulling crits out of your deck is absolutely what you don't want to do. Yes. And yeah, that's what Barkle does. He just takes your number of crits from 10 to 12 to 8 or less if you're playing the draw PGs too for some reason, or playing more than 2 of them. You might be down to 6 crits, and you need those. So a lot of people are actually moving away from Barkle. Some people did play it for the super consistency of getting the grade 2 ride, but I don't agree with it.
Ultimately. No, I do not either. I think, you are pulling out the thing that is winning you the game with this deck, and that is just, he doesn't look like he's giving you a detriment, but it actually is very much to your deck's detriment, I think, to have Barkle in it right now. And
honorable mention to Tier C, we have to talk about Premium Victor.
Oh yeah.
I still think that deck is pretty good. Yeah. But against what we saw, going up against all that stuff, I don't really know how that stacks up. I mean, if you go up against OTT, you're probably going to do pretty okay. And of course, if you get the cards you need. I don't think it's favored in the field, though. I think it just kind of gets pushed over quite a bit by some other things.
Yeah, I think it is, again, perfectly fine. Tier C, right around there. If you get to go first, get Battledore, then go into Victor on your next turn, so then you start striding, it is awesome.
Yeah, you're having a good time.
Yeah, but you're not going to go first every game. That's not going to be the case.
No.
And I think that's just that little bit that it's missing Victor right now kind of pushes it down a slot, in my opinion. And as well as that, a lot of the standard support they got doesn't mesh well with what Victor was doing in the first place.
It's an archetype.
Yeah. So, Tier C, honorable mention, I think is perfectly fine for Victor right now.
Yeah. I mean, we'd love to see more of it used and for it to run into exactly the kind of field it needs. Because I still think that in theory Victor is a really strong deck.
Yeah, totally agree with you, Ryan. That is.
But I mean, there weren't that many people playing it, and there are clearly better meta calls when OTT came knocking and said, "Hey, Ichitam here, can we come over and play?" And everyone called all of their big beefy friends to come over and beat up that kid. Yeah, here are the big beefy friends that we're starting to get into it. And if this isn't the most controversial video we've ever made, I don't know what is. Because let's start off with the big bomb of Tier B.
Ichitam.
Yeah. He seems to think that Ichitam is Tier B.
Yeah. I'm going to explain my reasoning. Everyone out there on YouTube and whatnot. I know they're already pitchforks, and it's the torch is coming out for me right now.
I think it's just more exasperation. What do you mean the meta-defining thing is not the best thing in the meta?
Yeah, I think...
It's the bottleneck.
Yeah, this is the gatekeeper to what is going to be in Premium. The interaction between Ichikishima and Tom is dumb. 0 questions about it.
And also, at this point, we've also had the infamous August 14th banlist announcement. No changes.
Just get the tumbleweed going down the line.
It's almost like, does Boucher watch ARG and is it's fine, whatever.
You imagine the guys on the screen just call to the phone.
No changes. But this is absolutely, I think the gatekeeper is the best way to describe it. If you cannot beat this deck, your deck might as well not be played.
Yeah. But then, with that, while the deck is really powerful, what we just saw was just there were more powerful things than
There were so
Ichitam.
many more powerful things.
And that was like, I don't know, that was mind-blowing to
Or
me,
like,
Ryan.
you
It was
mean
like,
a Vanguard Unblockable that's 2 cards?
Mhm.
You mean that you can do this multiple times for almost no cost? Like, sure, there are other unblockables. You can do the Antlion, Phantom Black, Zoa, like, make your opponent extremely sad. That's a lot of setup.
Yeah.
This is, do I have 5 cards? Do I have Ichikishima? Do I have Tom? Do I have a Deer for maximum damage? Yes. Whatever. You know? Oh, wait, can I do all those things because I draw a million cards, play a lot of defensive stuff too? It's just a matter of, like, that combo is so consistent that we clearly thought that was the thing to beat.
Yeah.
We thought it was just going to be half the field, OTT. I thought I was going to run into. That's why I played so many Royals. I'm like, I can maybe beat OTT with this most of the time and not have to spend any money on cards, and that's why I'm playing Royals. And then it was just like, I played one OTT, one true, like, all-in on Ichitam player. Round 1, I still won that game. And then I didn't play against any other OTT players.
Damn, yeah, that was... I think a lot of people at ARG made the meta call. But they were just like, everyone is going to bring Ichitam, so I'm going to bring the
Whatever,
thing to counter OTT.
Or think... Oh, and then there was like a step further where some people thought, okay, people are going to bring Ichitam, but then people are going to try and counter that, so there's going to be less Ichitam players and more counter players, so I'm going to bring what counters that and be very specific about it. We saw some really specific stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll tell you some anecdotes later on in the video.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Ichitam... We've got this nice. It's not really a triangle meta of any sort or any like a levels of meta. This is an hourglass meta.
Yeah.
There are the things that can stand up to or beat OTT consistently up here, and then OTT, and then everything else down here.
Yeah.
And of course, sometimes the things come up here and beat this thing because it's favored, or there's all the matchup data and whatnot. But
The grain of sand shoots off through the hourglass.
Jump jacks! But in reality, Ichitam is the true, what this meta is built around is Ichitam, and that is not going to change. Invest in Waka Hirume. That card is insane. In any case.
Yes.
Continue with why we think OTT is tier B.
Yeah, there is also the fact of just beyond this turn. So, like, OTT has the Ichitam turn, but up until then, it's actually fairly, not that great. I think, like, they're not doing a whole lot to you up until then. They're just trying to scry the deck, get their combo going so that they have the Toms to finish you off. And if you are able to kind of keep them at bay up until that time, you can almost just take an Ichitam to the face a lot of the time.
I mean, if you can keep yourself at 2 damage, that's how you win against OTT, is you limit yourself to as little damage as possible, up to 2, and then you can usually sit there if they don't hit more than a couple crits.
Yeah.
You're probably okay. You just bring your grade 1 PGs, 2 of them to, it's an Ichikishima? No.
Yeah.
Tom? Okay. Alright, other Tom? Whatever. Find a heal trigger, find something, find a draw trigger, start intercepting. There are a lot of ways that it's not too difficult to just tech your deck around OTT.
Yeah.
That's what we found is everybody had an answer. Either it was the kill them faster or the middle ground play of Royals, play a couple Liens and just play around the OTT mechanic or some of the more scary answers we saw at the tournament.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of, yes, this meta is built around OTT, but it is not the best thing you can be playing from what we saw.
Yeah, that is, I think, the long and short of it with OTT and why it is in our B tier and not the A tier for decks. And I think to talk about the next B tier deck, which kind of like has unusual outs, Ryan mentioned one of them, to the format, is Bugs. And I think Mega Colony as a whole, because Mega Colony had so many different iterations at this tournament.
Yeah, you can do so many different things. You can go... So, we saw, 3 different iterations of Bugs? Maybe? It was like 2.5.
2.5, yeah.
Because they kind of just... It was like this weird spectrum. Like, you can go all in on offense, or you can do this other very weird thing, or you can play like a middle ground of... you can just play Ghidorah, basically.
I think
plus Protect.
Yeah, the big things that Mega Colony was trying to accomplish at ARG was that we had pure machinings, which was just beat them down, rest their vanguards, and then a lot of the time all of the Mega Colony decks, or at least most of them, had Antlion with Phantom Black and Zoa, which is, throw one down, put the Antlion up to 99k, Phantom Black boosts, all of these effects work because the weird, unaffected by card effects all gets around this for what they're trying to accomplish. And so you literally have to hard guard the ant line. This, of course, has its own problems because, Bermuda can just be like, G-guard, and then call it a day. But it's still a really powerful combo, and you could just be there like, can't do anything, I guess I just lose damage, and that's that.
You don't even take the damage.
Yeah.
You just get hit and die.
Yeah, that's exactly. So there's that, and then I think we had, what was it? We had Pure Machinings, we had the black, I'm going to call it the Black Lions all that combo, because that's the 3 cards.
Mm-hmm.
We had Ghidorah.
Yep, we had the Ghidorah, and we have to talk about the scariest thing at this tournament by far. Coming out, straight out of the set 14, Gizeh.
Yeah.
There was so much Gizeh.
Yeah.
Like when this was the first time I had ever played against Gizeh.
Mm-hmm.
One, because that is a rich man's deck if ever there was one in Vanguard.
Yeah.
I mean, just the amount of raw money you need to play that deck.
Yeah.
That's why, and it wasn't that great in set 14 where people playing and I'm like, oh look, the new meme boss deck that just gets murdered by everything else in the format. But preview. Has made this deck insane.
Yeah. And this isn't even the most scary Gizeh deck.
No, we saw
to bring
scarier Gizeh.
Mm-hmm.
So people have mixed opinions over which variation of Gizeh is the best, but basically the option is Mega Colony or the other one, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
And what Mega
Should be
Colony
obvious.
Gizeh aims to do is they just play a million draw triggers and 4 heals, and they sit there with their, what's his name? He's the 7K grade 2. When you call him in the column, whatever's in that column doesn't stand again. It's Vulgar something.
Vulgar Blister?
Vulgar Blister, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird name for it. I just remember it like being like, that's a gross name.
Yeah, he's got kind of like a JoJo's look as well, too. He's kind of like looking to the side like that.
I see
like...
you're trying to stand.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so you just kind of call down 2 of those, and then you wait for Gizeh to happen. And then it does, and they 8-5 damage, and they die.
Yeah.
So it was. I played against it. I was able to take the tie, and only because I had learned how to play against Gizeh in the middle of the tournament. Because I'm like, what do I do against this deck? And
Thanks, man.
friends are like, hey man, you just shouldn't take any damage ever. You should just eat that Gizeh.
Yeah, just take the 5, try to kill him then.
Yeah,
Don't take another 5.
We'll talk more about Gizeh later. But yeah, that Mega Colony Gizeh was a lot of places.
Yeah, that was a scary ass deck.
I feel like all the Gizeh players in the tournament came in like, you know what would be spicy? Gizeh.
Yeah.
And everyone walked in and went, oh.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Has you ever seen what a Gizeh mirror match looks like? I never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah,
when
that
I would
was
get to
nuts.
when I would get to see a Gizeh mirror in top 16.
I don't even know what you want to try to do with that.
Like, it's like last round. Anyway.
Yeah.
You get to Gizeh first. That's what you do.
Check the triggers. Go for the
Check
best.
the triggers. Yeah, go for it. So yeah, Mega Colony just all around tier B, great stuff.
Yeah.
Mega Colony Gizeh doesn't quite edge out the other one, mostly because you're really reliant on taking the game to. You kind of have to wait artificially longer.
Yeah, you do.
You just don't have as many options for getting it faster.
Yeah.
Like you've got Overwhelm, and that draws you lots of cards and helps you survive until Gizeh. So you have tons of survivability. But past that, you don't.
Yeah, you can't accelerate
you
towards
can't
it. You are
accelerate
slowing
towards
the game down to get to Gizeh. Is the thing.
And that's not where you want to be when things get fast. And
Yeah.
that's what tends to happen. So, yeah, that's our tier B right there.
Yeah,
it's
I
just
think-
not quite as good.
Yeah.
Like I said, these are very minute differences between the tiers, with OTT solidly in the middle making up the bottleneck.
Yeah, and I think Mega Colony deserves that tier B spot as well, just because of how versatile it is. Like, you can run so many different builds we just saw with that deck, and they're all fairly good. Like, you would not be disappointed with taking any of these builds. I think the pure machining build ended up going the furthest, but any of those decks I'd be perfectly fine running into. So then, moving on, our tier A,
Yes,
what we think are going to be the best decks.
This is what you've endured the 10 minute of ads for.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to start things off with, I think, one deck that is still a threat, even though it is only a G format deck, basically, is Bermudas.
Bermudas has, and I'll say this to anyone who wants to hear it, Bermudas has the most ridiculous cards printed in Vanguard. All of their effects are insane.
Yeah.
The fact that the G-Guard gets so large by having a PG plus itself that you can run 6 of in the deck, by the way, which is also unprecedented.
Yeah.
That you can hard guard Zoa easily. Just like, no, I have the most defensive capabilities in this game right now. Not to mention that I played against a Bermuda player who solidly trounced me, and all he did, he once had to G-assist with 3 cards in hand, found an Ainge, and created a 104k Tirawa turn, plus an extra crit for his rear guard off of 2 0 triggers. And I'm like, what happened? Wasn't I winning this game? And the answer was no.
Yeah.
Just the amount of raw, weird stuff you can do with Bermuda. You're just like, you've got an answer for everything. Your cards are all amazing. And it doesn't matter that you don't have better triggers. You can just kill them.
Yeah. Bermuda just does it all. Like, there's... That deck is just
It's got
unreal.
draws, it's got options, it's got multiple attacks,
Mhm.
it's got huge G-guards, it's got access. You can just, refined heals.
It's
You've got-
superior strides on you.
Yeah, you can superior stride. You can play it almost any way. You can play the janky Riviere, get there before your opponent build. You can play just Coral. You can play Coral plus Ainge, which is super scary. You can do whatever you want to, and this deck will work for you without question.
Yeah, Anji is just the dumbest grade 3. I do not understand how that card is so good.
What do you mean you can search out Stride Fire whenever you want?
Yeah, this card is silly, and it's also not once per turn. Why was it not once per turn?
Coral lets you draw up to 6 cards by herself with the Stride.
Yeah. Well, I think that gives a quick summary of.
So basically,
Bermudas.
if you're able to competently play Bermuda and not be called for slow playing, you will do great with this deck. This deck will just work for you.
5k triggers doesn't matter. You're Bermudas.
That's not.
Don't care.
I thought that would the extra power on the triggers would be enough to carry a deck just from mediocrity like G-era Kagura and bring it up to top 10. It was this is amazing, and just one set of standard just was not enough.
It was not. They did not have it there. Yeah, Crook is also a silly stand.
Crook is amazing.
Yeah. So
don't count out the 0 power crit.
Oh, that thing is
card
also
is-
silly. Yeah.
Double your power after you have a card that says, by the way, 20k free power this turn.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that, but
Yeah.
still, base power doubling with 20k and then triggers,
Yeah, and
don't
crit.
talk to me.
Doesn't it add a crit? That crit?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does that crit.
So
You just get a free
Stupid.
trigger, and better. And then it just goes back to deck, I think.
yeah.
It goes back to deck.
Yeah. It's dumb.
Bermuda does it all.
Yeah.
That's why it's in tier A. So good.
Okay.
So awesome. 3rd place at Nats, by
Yeah.
the way.
Alright, what do we have next coming in tier A?
Next in tier A, we'll talk about this. Let's talk about OTT Gize.
Oh my.
This was the force
my.
to be reckoned with.
Yes.
This was, what's going on here? Oh no.
Yeah.
So OTT Gize abuses the scrying power of OTT and of course the draw power to survive up until they can just go into Gize and kill you.
Yeah. It does everything so well. That scrying makes a world of a difference to that deck. It is. Oh yeah, there's a trigger on the top of the deck.
Leaving it there.
Yeah.
Get a free. I only need to hit 5 triggers, and when you can, with some level of certainty, find those triggers very easily and just set yourself up to do it. Also, not to mention, to finish that sentence, you're really set up, and not to mention they have a card called Wakahirume, who is already a great card, and you should just play. It just lets you take a trigger from your hand and put it on top of your deck, and then attack, and then find that trigger, and woohoo, you got a free trigger.
3 guesses as to what trigger you're going to put on the top of that
It's
deck.
gonna
when
be a
it's gonna
heal,
be
and you can just get out of here.
Yeah.
You're being rushed down by a Royals player? Heal, get your tempo out of here.
Yeah.
And you can just do that twice. It's a 4-of in a deck, 100%. If you're in dire straits, Wakarume has your back. If you're not in dire straits, you can just go into Ichitam and kill him anyway, because it's a 2-card combo.
Yeah.
You can just run Deer 2, because you don't need it for anything. You're just I play 2 Deer, why not Deer? Ichitam, you lose.
Yeah.
You have so many options, and not to mention Gize just tends to happen pretty quick. You can just kind of, I wouldn't call it turboing, but you can just kind of get into Gize, and then they're on an automatic 2-turn timer. That's just it. And then you can just start swinging at them, and also you're just base 30k. It doesn't matter that you lose all your G-guards. That doesn't matter at all.
No.
You have a permanent G-guard sitting on your face.
Yeah. And I think that's another big thing, Ryan, that you mentioned with Ichikishima. It's just the fact that you can lock down their G guards so that they cannot accelerate into their GB8 or whatever kind of cancers that they might have for you. It's just like, well, guess I'll die now because I've got nothing for them to do. Just be Ichikishima, swing at a rear guard. You can't really guard it with anything useful. So,
yeah, not to mention that all of their damage just has to come from Gize. That's how you close out the game anyway. Sure, you could try and accelerate and kill them, but you have no reason to give your opponent resources.
No.
You can just sit there and, if you're looking pretty good, you just don't have to attack.
No.
If they play rear guards to try and rush you, attack the rear guards. Get rid of those, draw more cards, win the game. You don't need crits. Why would you? You have Gize.
Your heals are always live because you're always going to be at more damage than they are, pretty much.
Yep,
so.
And you can stack heals too. So it's just a matter of this deck has everything that it needs to survive. And if only some decks weren't just good enough to beat it out, about half the time, this deck would be like the format definer.
Yeah, it was by far the scariest deck I think I saw in Nationals was OTT Gize. That deck was just, everyone was like, oh my god, what can I do? Everything in this, why does this work so well?
I had to learn how to play against it to have a reasonable chance of beating it, and I was playing Royal Paladins, which is like, should be the end all, like, I can kill you whenever I want to.
Yeah. It is. That is a scary deck. And it really puts you on a timer. You can feel that timer when that thing's coming at you and you're like, 5 damage, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another 5 damage, okay, I die. Yeah. Alright. Well, the final deck.
This is not the best deck, but we will say that based on usage stats and our terrible sample size, so don't take these with a grain of salt, but hey, I mean, there's something to be said for both Keith and Living Proof being the only 2 premium Spike Brothers players in this tournament. Keith walking in with only a moderate level of knowledge about the deck, like he probably hadn't had that many games on it, walks in and just makes top 8.
Yeah, that's right. To summarize how many pre-games I had.
Spike Brothers.
Yeah, Spike Brothers is the clan. This is our last Tier A deck. I played 4 or 5 games with Ryan, I want to say.
I played
against
Kagura and massacred him.
Yeah, it was not very good. I don't know why I ended up bringing it in the end. I was thinking about just bringing Gears, but I was like, nah, we're going to bring Spikes. We're going to see how this rolls. Spikes is an amazing deck, and it is literally the definition of 50 good cards deck. I think is Spikes. Like, there's nothing in there that you're like, oh my god, that's so overpowered. But it's just like, everything is just solid. Like in that deck.
It just works together all the time. You don't have what you need, well, just search for it.
Yeah.
And also, the fact that Jugs and Bracky say 10k on entry, and you can just make them re-enter every turn, and also your stride also says that, that's really good.
Yeah, it is amazing.
The deck needs so little help that Keith only played 8 actual strides, and one of them is Seabreeze, and another one is Dust.
Yeah.
Like, he only needs the Agriuses and maybe the Hellhard, and that's usually what gets him through.
Yeah, Picaro is also a good play if you also need Picaro. But yeah, there is so little you need in the G-Zone. There's also just like no good Spike strides. They're just generic. That's also a big problem for the deck. We really wish we could have something else.
Look at these glaring flaws, and he still made top 8 with like only a moderate. Like I said, if you're a competent Spike player, you can just walk in and expect good results, assuming you don't just explode. Get unlucky.
Everyone in there was just like, just as an anecdotal experience now, I played. 3 people came up to me afterwards, after games, and were just like, I'm picking up Spikes, man. Like, after we played this deck, like, that was dumb what you did. And I'm like, alright. And I don't think I played the best version of the deck. I went just straight 8 crits and just unga-bunga my way to the top with check yellow cards. Proof ended up playing with the Stands build, which I think is the superior build, which allows you to do a lot more combos and makes your Hellhard 8 and Picaros way more threatening. But this deck is it's just so damn good at what it does. Here are 5 gigantic ass attacks, and it's just like, it's really hard for you to guard 3 or 5 attacks at 40k plus. There's just not that much hard guard in your hand usually. Yeah, like unless you're Bermudas, maybe I think would be the only one, but no one else just has that sheer amount of card volume to be able to say, oh yeah, I'm just going to take all of this damage. Because even stuff like Ichikishima, I could just beat him down with 0 cards in hand, and can't activate Ichikishima.
Yeah. You can give OTT another turn, but if they can't activate their combos, if they don't have Oracle, they don't have any options.
Yep.
You can Kamu Sasanu, and by then, the game's over. 8 cards won't save you.
And that was the big thing I saw, was just like, the Spikes beatdown is just better than the Royals beatdown every time I went into that.
Including into Royals.
Yeah, I don't think there wasn't a single person I didn't just 2-0 with Spikes on Royals. And then what was I going to say? The Ichitan players as well would just struggle to keep up with just the sheer beatdown. Like, unless they just got lucky, high-rolled me. Like, one opponent just checked 3 heals before I got the first strike and all my tempo was gone. But you just beat them down, and you literally just like, punch to the face. Punch to the face. Are you dead yet? Are you dead
How
yet?
many of those can you take?
Yeah.
And I can keep dishing them out.
You're gonna hemorrhage and have massive brain trauma, and you're gonna be dead. And that's what Spikes does to you every single turn.
And Royals can't do that.
No.
Spikes is just what Royals really wanted to be.
Yeah.
In this, but they have to rely on Blaster Blade, specifically Blaster Blade, and all their combo pieces are separate from Blaster Blade because he himself is not a card.
Yeah.
He just says Blaster Blade, 10k, rate 2, 5k shield, nothing else matters on that card.
Yeah.
Except for what all the other cards can put on them. Well, Spike's cards are all fantastic.
Yeah.
They're all just solid cards, and the other cards say, make your good cards do more good stuff. It doesn't really matter which cards you have because it just works together.
Yeah, Spikes just looks at Royals and says, I'm you, but better. But yeah, I think that's kind of the long and short of the decks, Ryan, that we wanted to discuss for our tier list.
Yeah.
That was the big breakout stars, I want to say, for Premium. And of course, things are going to change literally in a couple weeks. We're going to introduce
have more set. We're gonna have D Police.
Yep.
That'll be scary. We're gonna have Grand Blue again with the scary Night Rose plus Protect.
Yeah, that's back.
Aqua Force might make an appearance if it can get around the Ichitam. If someone figures out a way to get around Ichitam, then that'll be able to surpass the bottleneck or at least get to tier B.
Yeah.
Again, these are incredibly minute differences. Like all of these decks are incredibly viable. But when it comes down to, do you want to win this tournament? Are you picking the best deck?
Yes.
Should be your first question. And that's what this video is about. You've probably already typed your comment, but if you're still with us, just know you can play whatever you want in Vanguard, and a lot of things are viable. I watched a man bring G-Robos to tournament, and he almost took some games off me because, hey, being able to break guard is really good. But did he win? No, he did not.
No,
he did not.
He should have waited a couple weeks, then gotten his Commander Laurel and done the stupid combo with Cross Gallop.
Yes.
That would have been good.
That would have been pretty good.
Yeah.
But for August, just know that what we saw at Nats was some really solid stuff and some just disappointing things.
Yeah. Things lived up to expectations, some things way surpassed expectations, and some things just kind of fell to the wayside. And that was that.
Yeah. So, I mean, as much as the meta was built around Ichitam, it is by no means the best deck. It is by no means unbeatable because everyone seemed to have some sort of answer to it.
Yes.
Or hope they didn't face it, and some people succeeded in that.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky. You just don't roll in Swiss the opponents you don't want to play.
It's true. I've done it plenty of times. Somehow saw no Grand Blue in the middle of GBT07 Kagura.
That was amazing.
Best.
Yeah. Well, anyways, guys, that is, I think, us going to sign off now on today. Leave us comments. We'd love to hear about what you also think about Premium.
Or what you've experienced in playing Premium.
And yeah, and of course, all the good stuff, like, comment, subscribes, and we will see you again next time. This is the Irish God.
And the Drummer Griffin.
Signing off.
Peace.